Joining us now, someone who attended the breakfast, Republican Congresswoman from Iowa, Ashley Hinson. Congresswoman, great to have you with us here. We haven't seen you for a little while, at least since President Trump is president again, back in the White House. How was this prayer breakfast? How has these past 2 weeks been since the last administration? You were very present in that as well.
And it's certainly a new golden era in our country. And I truly think, President Trump is leading with a servant's heart here. And it was very, very clear to me hearing his message at the prayer breakfast this morning. I think he believes in the divine intervention of God, not only for him personally through that millimeter miracle. And thank God he was protected on that field in Butler. But I think he believes in that as well for our country. And that's the message I took from him today. It was an incredibly meaningful experience for me as a Christian to be there. And to the point about President Trump trying to root out the corruption that is going against Christians in this country. Christians are some of the most persecuted people in the world. So to be able to stand so firmly for our Christian values, for freedom of religion in this country, one of the bedrocks that our country was frankly built on, it was such a meaningful moment for me to be there this morning.
And Congresswoman, it says the mission of this task force will be to immediately hold all forms of anti-Christian targeting and discrimination within the federal government, including the DOJ, which was absolutely terrible, the IRS, the FBI, and other agencies. Do you believe that there is a lot of that in the federal government?
Yes. There is an anti-Christian movement within the federal government. There are people who don't believe that we should even be citing scripture at all as lawmakers. I think that's wrong. I think it's certainly at the heart of how I try to lead with those Christian values. And I think that is the case of many of my colleagues as well. And so I will continue to have that approach. And I was reminded of a piece of scripture this morning. It's Psalm 119. I think about the lamp on our feet and the light on our path and how important that is as we head into the 119th Congress. I think it's important that we root out that anti-Christian corruption wherever it is in the federal government or around the world.
And Congresswoman, to your point there, one of the themes that President Trump did speak to this morning was exactly what you said. Christianity is under attack.
The last 4 years, what's happened with so many things have gone bad. But religion, what they've done, and the persecution that they've executed have been just horrible. Paulette Harlow was sentenced to 2 years in prison for peacefully praying outside of a clinic, charged under an obscure law that hadn't been used in years, selectively weaponized against Christians by the previous administration.
Why do you think Christians have been under attack specifically by the previous administration?
I just think there was a whole slew of anti-Christian people that had infiltrated government, had infiltrated the Biden administration. And I think with the new sheriff in town, he's made it very, very clear that he is going to support our First Amendment rights to gather and worship how we choose. He this morning in our message did talk about COVID and how destructive that was to religion and people who wanted to peacefully gather. So I'm very excited about this new day, this new dawn, and certainly will continue to make sure we are governing with conservative principles in mind and Christian
All right,
principles.
Congressman Ashley Hinson, always great having you on. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And stay with us. The second